Got a lot of great games this weekend. We'll start off actually Friday. West Virginia going to Pitt. West Virginia's won 4 of their last 5 games. They had a heartbreaking loss to Villanova at home on Monday night. And this is a tough one for me. I think Pitt, even though they had struggled as of late, I know that they've lost 2 of their last 3 Big East games, but I like West Virginia to win this one. And the reason why is Deshaun Butler. I think he's a great player for West Virginia. 17 points, 6 rebounds a game, averages 3.5 assists a game. I think he's maybe the difference in this game. It's at Pitt, so it might be a tough win, but I like West Virginia coming off the tough loss. I like them to win, Mike.
West Virginia, 6-2 on the road. They know how to go on the road and get W's. They're a good team. If you look at their compilation of losses this season, most of them are not bad losses. And like you said, Deshaun Butler running the offense, he does a great job. Devin Ebanks, as a sophomore, has really come into his role, found an identity at West Virginia. This is a rivalry game, so I think it can go either way. And, if Pitt, I feel like they've kind of waffled and wavered. They started off so strong, and now they're kind of, right on the fringe. I'm not really sure if they're going to be ready to match up with West Virginia. I do think West Virginia is the better team, and I'm picking them to win the game. But Pitt, this is tough. I think this is a close game. Pitt's going to want to win. Like I said, the rivalry, the tensions run high. The fans will be loud, so it's going to be an interesting game to watch, and I think both teams will play at a pretty high level.
Yeah, now 3 Big East losses. West Virginia really needs to win this game if they want to stay in contention for the regular season title.
Yeah, I think West Virginia is going to win this game. As you mentioned, Butler and Ebanks, just phenomenal play down the stretch here, and you also mentioned the fact that they are 6-2 on the road. Bob Huggins has his team fired up and ready. I think they're going to win.
What a great coach Bob Huggins is, by the way.
Oh, he is.
Wherever he goes, players want to play for him. They work with his system, and he just wins. You got to love that. I'm so impressed by what he does wherever he goes.
Oh, I know. Big fan of Bob Huggins myself, too. Yeah. Tennessee at Kentucky. The 2 best teams in the SEC East will battle at Rupp Arena, a place where Kentucky is unbeaten, Jordan.
Kentucky. I just, especially because it is at Rupp. I don't think there's any question Kentucky is going to win.
I think there's maybe a bit of a question. I think Tennessee's a really good team, but I like Kentucky to win. And, they got 4 guys averaging double digits on their team. John Wall averages 16 points a game. But don't forget DeMarcus Cousins. He's averaging a double-double a game, 16 points, 10 rebounds a game, Mike.
Cousins, Bledsoe, Wall, Patterson. You go on the
just
line.
A great team.
And then Calipari's system, it just works so well with these guys. Tennessee, I think they're a very solid team. They're going to keep this close. I love Scotty Hopson. He does a great job running that team. He's really helped keep them together ever since they've had some of those issues. Tyler Smith getting kicked off the team. Tennessee will play well. Again, another high-level performance from both these teams. But Kentucky at home, too strong, too much.
Let's go to your ACC, Mike. This is an intriguing game for me. Number 20, Georgia Tech, is taking on Wake Forest. Now, Wake is coming off a big overtime win versus Virginia, and Tony Bennett really I think he's the AC coach of the year right now, Tony Bennett, for what he's doing at Virginia. But Wake's won 4 of their 5 last games, but the only loss in that stretch was a 79-58 loss to Georgia Tech. I like Wake in this one, Mike.
I like Georgia Tech. Wake Forest they're playing very well. Al-Farouq Amino is going to be a lottery pick in the NBA. They've got DJ Williams. They've got a lot of talent. And, I used to live in Winston-Salem. I used to go to those games. It's a tough environment. It's tougher than you would think. It doesn't always get the national recognition, but it really is a tough environment to go into. Georgia Tech's 4-4 on the road this year, so they can win on the road, but as we saw, they can also get beat pretty handily like they did at Duke. But in the end, it's just tough. Shumpert favors Peacock Lawal. Georgia Tech's got so much talent, and they can match up with Wake very well, and I think Georgia Tech wins this one.
This is one Wake needs, Jordan.
Yeah, I think this one you could flip a coin and pick who's going to win. I'm going to go with Wake. I think that especially playing at home, 2 pretty evenly matched teams, I think they're going to go ahead and win this one.
Sunday, Ohio State, ranked 16th in the nation, has to travel to Assembly Hall in Champaign, a place where, Michigan State just lost there. Jordan, do you like Illinois or do you like Ohio State?
I think Ohio State and the best player in the nation, Evan Turner, are going to go in and win. Illinois just beat Michigan State, and that was very impressive, but I think Ohio State's going to win this game. Mike mentioned how much they've proven. If your question was who proved the most over the last month, the answer is the Ohio State Buckeyes, and they're going to cap it off with a victory against the Illini. I just think I've said it time and time again that the starting five for the Buckeyes is about as well-rounded as you can get on a basketball team, especially in the Big Ten. They're going to win.
I'm wearing my Buckeye red for a Buckeye victory. I think Illinois, like I said, I don't want to take away from what they've done, but I think a healthy Kalen Lucas with Michigan State would have changed the outcome of the game. Michigan State got down early, came back, it's kind of back and forth, but in the end, they just didn't have that identity. Corey Lucius was unable to handle his role at the point guard and be able to get Michigan State a win. So Ohio State, I go back to what I said, the way they've played, the way Evan Turner's come into that role, and how much he just improves everyone else in that starting rotation. I mean, you can see David Leidy, he's really improved significantly since Evan Turner's been installed back into the lineup. So I like the Buckeyes. Close game, it'll be rocking again. Illinois' got a great fan section. We saw that here against Iowa. But Ohio State, in the end, I think they're the team to reckon with in the Big Ten over the next month.
Yeah, I'm going to go Ohio State too. And this is a stretch where we're going to find out what Ohio State's made of for the 5 on the road, including a trip to East Lansing. I think the only one at home in that stretch is when they play Purdue. So this is one of those winnable games. This would be a big resume builder for both teams. It's more so for Illinois than Ohio State, but I like Ohio State to get done here. And we got a few minutes left in the show. I want to kind of go pick through a couple conferences and that are kind of going down to the wire, see who you think is going to win. We'll start with the Big East, and you got, I think, 3 teams that have clearly established themselves as the top teams, and that's Syracuse, West Virginia, and then Villanova too. Sorry about that.
Georgetown
too.
There,
Georgetown, a couple notches down because they have a few more losses.
Yeah.
But who do you think is going to win that one when it's all said and done?
This is an interesting one for me. I feel like Syracuse is going to win the regular season. But in the Big East tournament, it could be any one of those top couple teams. You just never know. That tournament's so tough, playing 3 or 4 days in a row. I can't even pick a Big East tournament winner at this point. It's just very difficult. I've really got to see the seedings and who's playing where. But right now, I just really feel like Syracuse and their consistency and their balance, I have to go with the Cuse.
I think Villanova. Villanova's going to win. They've been playing at a different level all season. Last year, they kind of played well all year and then really snuck up on people come tournament time. This year, I really think that they've got it, and I think they'll secure it in the regular season.
I'm going to go Syracuse too, and I think you could really make a case right now that Syracuse is playing the best basketball in the country.
23-1. I mean,
they even have a couple votes in the poll.
It's unbelievable.
It's going to be interesting when this tournament comes out because you see teams, and I know we kind of talked about this last week, teams like Louisville that aren't as high in the rankings in the standings of the Big East, but they're the type of teams that can sneak on you come tournament time. Even a team like Pittsburgh, they've had a couple surprising losses, and then you got the rising teams like South Florida that could come and beat you in the tournament. So that tournament, especially since everybody's playing in it, could be as competitive as any other year. Even a team like Rutgers has a win versus Notre Dame. Notre Dame also kind of struggling in the Big East.
Right, and that tournament is so great. I mean, DePaul, who hadn't won a regular season Big East game all year, beat Cincinnati in the first round of that tournament and then competed well in the second round. So you just never know. There's so many teams. There's so much potential in that tournament.
Yeah, in the Big Ten, I'll throw this one out. Michigan State, they've reeled back the last couple weeks. It's a lot more even now because they clearly put themselves out earlier as the favorite, going 9-0, then dropping a few lately. Does Michigan State still win the regular season, Jordan?